Nice of you to drop in.
Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite Marvel superheroes of all time. Now, I will be counting down my top 10 favorite DC superheroes later on, and then I'm going to mishmash the two, and I will make my top 10 favorite superheroes list. But for now, it's just Marvel, and let's get into it. And starting off the list at number 10 is the Incredible Hulk. Now, everyone knows who Hulk is. I don't really have to say much about him, but he is a really cool character, and he's a lot more in-depth than some people might think, because, on the surface, hey, big, green, angry guy, he gets angry, he gets stronger. That's pretty cool. I like that element to the Hulk. But with things like Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, they got a lot more in depth with him, and we get to see more about him and the fact that he did get a family, and then all that got taken away from him. World War Hulk is my favorite Hulk storyline. It's so awesome. He just came back to Earth and wrecked house, destroyed everything, and it was so cool. And that's one of the reasons I love Hulk and why he's at number 10. And coming in at number 9 is Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat, aka a lot of other names, but I prefer to go by Shadowcat as her main superhero identity. But yeah, she's one of my favorite X-Men. She's really cool. Her and Wolverine's miniseries is one of my favorite X-Men books. It's so good. They go to Japan, a bunch of crazy stuff happens involving her father, and she has to fight Ogun, and it's really good. And her and Wolverine have such an awesome relationship. Even in The Death of Wolverine, Charles Soule decided to bring Kitty Pryde back and make her a major player in that book because her and Wolverine had such a strong relationship. She saves Wolverine in that book, and she's just a really cool character and a different perspective from the X-Men, because the rest of the X-Men, besides say Wolverine, are more by the books type X-Men. I'm talking about Chris Claremont X-Men, not currently, because Cyclops is doing a lot of weird stuff, but Chris Claremont era, Kitty Pryde was a different POV from the rest of the X-Men, because the rest of them were more train in the danger room, we gotta do stuff by the books a bit more, to where she was acting a bit more off of emotion and instinct, and that was just really cool to see a different perspective. Plus, she was a teenager, so that was something different as well for the X-Men, and she's just a really awesome character, and that is why she is at number 9. Number 8 is Bucky Barnes. Now, Bucky Barnes has been through a lot, especially during Ed Brubaker's run, which is my favorite run on Captain America, and he did a lot of cool stuff with Bucky. He's who made me love Bucky, because prior to his run, it was basically, okay, Bucky's there in World War II because Captain America needs a sidekick because this is a comic book, and that was kind of it. But then Ed Brubaker came along and changed it to where the reason Bucky was back there in World War II with Captain America was because Captain America wasn't always willing to do what needed to be done, because, it's World War II, there's some nasty stuff that's not exactly morally right that you need to do to win the war. And so they needed someone that would be willing to do that, so they gave him Bucky, and Bucky went down in the dirt and did what needed to be done to where Captain America could still stand as the pure figure. And Bucky was, that's why Bucky had some issues. Besides all the brainwashing and stuff like that, he had some issues because he did a lot of bad stuff during World War II. That was necessary, but not something anyone should ever have to do, especially someone at Bucky's age. But anyways, later on in the future, the current timeline, he was able to he became the Winter Soldier, was a secret assassin. He even killed Red Skull, sort of, but not really, because Red Skull came back, sort of inhabited this Russian guy's body. But anyways, he killed Red Skull, and that was really cool. When I first read that, I was like, oh my gosh, Winter Soldier killed Red Skull, Bucky killed Red Skull, that's just awesome. That was one of my favorite moments of Bucky Barnes, and just made me love the character. And then later he became Captain America, and he was a great Captain America, and it made sense for why he was Captain America, unlike some other people who have been Captain America purely because Marvel's like, hey, you should be Captain America, you'll sell books. To where Bucky made more sense, it was just natural. And yeah, I wish they'd give Bucky a new superhero name, because Winter Soldier, I think he's still Winter Soldier currently in Marvel now, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because Winter Soldier was a villain, and so he needs a hero mantle, a big-time hero mantle. I wish he would have one, because obviously he can't be Captain America since Falcon's currently Captain America, but that's besides the point. I'm here to just talk about why I love the character, and yeah, he's awesome, but yeah, that's why he's at number 8. Number 7 is Daredevil. Now, if you've seen Marvel's Netflix Daredevil show, then you know why I love this character, because he's pretty much the exact same in that as he is in Frank Miller's run on the comics, which is my favorite run on Daredevil. He really did change Daredevil a little bit, like with the fact that he added stick into his origin. He made Daredevil a lot more brutal, and I love that. Like, Daredevil, he doesn't take crap from nobody. There's a lot of blood going on. He even kills a guy in his origin book in The Man Without Fear, Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. At the end of it, this guy's got a girl hostage, and he's shooting at Daredevil, and Daredevil just takes his nightstick and deflects it back at the guy's feet. It's like, don't do this. I don't want to have to kill you. The guy shoots him again. Bam! Knocks it straight back at the guy's forehead. And he does all this, why blind? And that's just one of the moments of why I love Daredevil and why he is at number 7. Number 6 is the Punisher. Now, the Punisher has a very cool yet simple backstory of how his family was mowed down by mobsters, and you can see why that would drive someone to do what the Punisher does. And so after that, he decided to go out and punish all the criminals he could, and yeah, he makes life hard on all these crime bosses and all these different criminals, and just awesome to see Punisher go out there and not be like a sissy like a lot of other heroes are, you know what I mean? To where heroes are like, you know, it's justice, even though they'll just break out of jail again. Punisher's like, yeah, that won't do. I'm not gonna do that. He goes around, he kills a lot of people, and it's just really cool to see a guy that will do this, considering a lot of heroes won't. It's just a nice contrast, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. He even fought Nazis with Wolverine. He's held his own against Wolverine. He even like escaped Doctor Doom's castle. Like, he talked to Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom respected him. That is a big thing. And even Hulk, I think Hulk put it best when Hulk was like, this guy's got a gun to kill everything. That's where I'm going to leave it, and that is why the Punisher is at number 6. Number 5 is Hawkeye, who a lot of people don't give a chance, but he's a very interesting character with his whole circus origin, and even now he's getting a new origin from Jeff Lemire, the same guy who wrote the best Green Arrow run in the New 52. He's now writing all new Hawkeye, which is giving Hawkeye a new backstory, and it's really good so far, and Hawkeye's had some great stories these past couple of years. Matt Fraction wrote some amazing stories, and now Jeff Lemire's taken over, and he's doing some great stuff. We're only like 4 issues in, and he's doing really good. I can't wait to see what happens next with Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I see as a very versatile character. You can put him in a lot of different situations, and I think that's why he makes such good storylines, and he's very down to earth. He's the most human Avenger out of all of them. That's why I love Hawkeye, especially in Matt Fraction's story. We just see this guy who lives in an apartment, and occasionally people are like, hey, you're the Avenger guy who shoots arrows. Well, a lot of time he doesn't even get recognized, and it's just really cool to see a day in the life of Hawkeye, which is what Matt Fraction's Hawkeye did. And Hawkeye, like, one of my favorite moments from him was at the beginning of Age of Ultron, to where, and the obviously not the movie, the comic book, he saves Spider-Man in the very beginning, and he's like fed up with what's going on, because in that storyline, Ultron's taken over, pretty much everyone's dead, and all the heroes are in hiding, and Captain America even's broken down. He's like, I don't have a plan, I don't know what to do. Hawkeye's like, screw that, I'm a hero, we're all heroes, we need to keep being heroes. And so he goes out there and he does that, and he saves Spider-Man. It's really cool, and at the end of the day, that's how I would explain Hawkeye. He's a hero to the very end, and that is why he's at number 5. Number 4 is Spider-Man. Now, I don't have to explain at all why he's here. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is and why he makes such a great character. He's very down to earth, and even in these Avengers books, he's pretty much always my favorite part. Well, not my favorite character, but a lot of times my favorite part in them, because he's funny and he's down to earth, and you see, like, okay, I could see myself doing that if I'm in the Avengers. Like in Volume 1 of Avengers by Jonathan Hickman in Avengers World, Iron Man comes to him and is like, we have money, and Spider-Man's just like, oh, thank God, because they're trying to recruit everyone. For Wolverine, they're like, we've got beer, but for Spider-Man, they're like, we have money, and Spider-Man's just like, oh, thank God. It's like, yep, that's, that's just great. That's how I'd imagine myself if I was a superhero. What would make me really want to join the Avengers, besides the fact that they're Avengers? He's offering him money. Spider-Man, a guy who's been forced to work at the Daily Bugle, even though he's a great superhero, he's got to have a job. And now Iron Man's like, here's some money. It's like, that's just a great Spider-Man moment. And that's where I'll leave it for Spider-Man at number 4. Starting us off at number 3 is Deadpool the Merc with a Mouth. Now, a lot of people in the comic community, I notice, don't really care for Deadpool too much. I see a lot of people saying, take Deadpool in small doses. To me, I can take a lot of Deadpool. I like him. He's such a funny character, and he gets in great situations. And the contrast of him to like how bleak a lot of the worlds are that he's put into in these comic books is just so great. Like the Skrull invasion in other books, it's like, oh my gosh, the Skrulls are invading. Who's the Skrull? We don't know. In Deadpool's secret invasion, we see that Deadpool invades the Skrulls. He goes in there, they copy his abilities, and then he tricks the Skrulls into killing each other. So he takes out like a lot of Super Skrulls. It's like, yeah, that's Deadpool. And then he's got his rivalry with Squirrel Girl, because during Civil War, Squirrel Girl beat the crap out of him while he's trying to do a contract. And he had such a great book during Civil War, because during that he was like, yeah, this is me. This is the best time for me, because the government is paying me to do what I already do. I get to go out, get paid big bucks to take in these superheroes. And during that, him and Cable have a lot of back and forth. He's just a funny, good character. I really do love Deadpool, and that's why he is at number 3. Number 2 is Captain America. Now, when talking about Captain America, I always love to bring up my favorite Captain America story of all time, which is Ultimate Captain America. And what happens in this storyline is Captain America is fighting Nuke for the very first time. Nuke is this guy who's meant to be the Captain America of Vietnam, but needless to say, that failed, and so he ended up with the American flag tattooed on his face, and he went crazy bonkers, and so he finally faces off against Captain America. Think of him sort of as the Bane for Captain America, if you're familiar with DC. Anyways, he's really cool, and he beats the crap out of Captain America, captures him, and tortures him for a while. And then Captain America is finally able to break out, beats the ever-living crap out of Nuke, and as a result, Nuke goes to the hospital at S.H.I.E.L.D., and so Nuke's there, sitting in a bed. Captain America comes up and starts reading him the Bible. I was like, that is just so Captain America. Get captured by Nuke, tortured, and beat him up, then at the very end read the Bible to him, because that's who Captain America is. Throughout all that crap that Nuke put him through, he still just sits there at the end, reads in the Bible. It's like, okay, that's Captain America. That's how he should always be, and that is awesome. And that is why Captain America is at number 2. Number 1 is Wolverine. Now, I know I really don't have to explain why he's here, but I still will. He's such an awesome character. He's a little hairy dude with claws that can heal, and then there's an awesome character behind that. One of my favorite Wolverine moments is when he has to kill Sabretooth. This guy is known for the longest time. I mean, legitimately actually kill him, not just, kill him. Oh, he heals and he's back. No, he takes the blade that can block the healing factor, and he kills him. He goes and he asks for it from Cyclops, because he gave it to the X-Men in case he ever went feral and they had to go and stop him. Well, Sabretooth has lost all humanity. Sabretooth is just a monster now. There's nothing left of the person of Sabretooth. And so Wolverine goes, he takes the sword, and he kills him. It's a very emotional moment. It's like, yeah, there's more to Wolverine than some might think, especially in the Chris Claremont, Frank Miller Wolverine book, which everyone knows about. It's such a good book. And in that, Wolverine fights this whole time for his love to save her from her, evil family. And then at the end, she leaves him, and it's like, what? What? He went through all that for you, and now you leave him? And it's like Wolverine's finally happy, but then he can't be happy. It's like, no, that's Wolverine. Why? You can't do that to Wolverine. And he's just an awesome character with awesome stories, and I love Wolverine. I've been reading him forever, too. He's one of the first characters I ever started reading, and I've never stopped. He's such an amazing character. And yeah, he is my number 1. Please let me know down in the comments below who is your guys' top 10 favorite Marvel characters of all time. This is just my opinion, top 10 favorite Marvel characters. And also, if you want to know my number 11, it was Black Panther. I had him at number 10, but then I forgot all about Spider-Man when doing this list. I was doing this list, I was like, okay, these characters, like, oh, I forgot about Spider-Man, because I had Black Panther at number 10. So Black Panther's at number 11, in case you guys are curious. But yeah, that's my top 10 favorite Marvel characters of all time. Top 10 DC characters will be up soon. And then after that, top 10 superheroes of all time. Well, not characters for Marvel and DC. I meant superheroes. You know what I mean? That's why there were no villains on this list or the DC list. That'll be coming out soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.